Ladies and gentlemen, going forward, players will always remove all of their clothing and items before the challenge commences, and store them in their chests until the challenge ends. Now let's begin with Challenge 6. For this challenge, each player gets their own area where they will have a chest with a variety of items to create zombie traps with. They'll be given plenty of time to strategize and build a trap using the items in the chest. However, once they place an item, they can no longer remove it and can only proceed forward by adding new items. In each new round, they will be allowed to add a few more items. Once they finish constructing their trap, they proceed to the red center area and step onto the trigger plate to release the zombies. They'll draw the attention of the zombies by firing their pistols into the air, with only their traps as the sole means of protection. Every new round, one zombie gets added to each side. Should any zombies make it past the traps and onto the red area, the players are strictly limited to using their fists for self-defense, and are prohibited from using any weapons. All zombies must be dead in order to complete the round. The player who completes the most number of rounds out of a total of 5 rounds will win the challenge. You can see a bird's eye perspective of all 3 players right here. And they begin by heading directly to their designated chests where they take a moment to strategize utilizing the items they have been provided. They'll be given plenty of time to construct their traps before the start of round 1. Now, for round 1, they're limited to placing a maximum of 10 items. As each new round ensues, they will be granted the opportunity to add a few more items to their traps. Their initial build can consist of up to 10 items, forming the foundation for subsequent rounds. Now, while setting up their traps, it's crucial to note that they are prohibited from placing any items directly on the red area in the middle. As long as no items make contact with the rest of the red area, then they have the freedom to place items anywhere they want, including on the walls. In each round, an equal number of zombies will attack them from each side. For round 1, they will face 1 zombie on each side, resulting in a total of 2 zombies. Subsequently, each new round will introduce an additional zombie on each side. And by the time they reach round 5, they'll be contending with a total of 10 zombies, 5 from each side. I should also mention that due to serious lag and crashes, Lotus will not be recording his game so he can do the challenge. And right away, we can already see the implementation of 3 distinct strategies. With Glass Sandwich, it looks like he's decided to strew a bunch of spinning blade traps around. It's important to note that once a round commences, the players must remain within the red area until all the zombies have been eliminated. And since they are limited to only using their fists for defense, the strategic placement of items becomes crucial. The traps have to do the majority of the damage, so minimizing the number of zombies that successfully breach their defenses is key. Dealing with multiple zombies simultaneously without weapons is a situation best avoided. Here we go, round 1, starting off with Glass Sandwich. The moment he steps on the trigger plate in the center, the doors will open and the round begins. He will be allowed to fire 1 shot in the air to draw the zombies in towards him. And there we go, the shot has been fired. All he can do now is pray that his traps work. It looks like one is already making it through his traps, but the turret on the wall took care of him. And there goes the second zombie as well. Nicely done, Glass Sandwich. That'll be a check mark for round 1. Next up, we'll be checking in with Whiskey. Whiskey has a very interesting setup here. Looks like most of the traps are situated very close to the red square. Here we go. 1 shot fired into the air, and the round is live. One zombie appears to just be fighting the wall in the corner and not moving towards her. Remember, all zombies must die in order for the round to end. There it is, the shotgun turret took care of it. Nice job, Whiskey. She also gets a check mark for round 1. Up next is Lotus, and he's got a very minimalistic setup here. I see just some basic electric wires and turrets. And the round begins. Oh wow, that was fast. I wasn't expecting that. His traps did quick work here. Faster than both Glass Sandwich and Whiskey by a long shot. Nicely done. He too will get a check mark for round 1. Okay, now they get some time to set up for round 2. They're allowed to add 2 additional items to their trap setups. And with round 2 beginning, starting with Glass Sandwich, there will now be 2 zombies attacking him from each side. Once again, it looks like Glass Sandwich's gun turrets are doing a great job of defending him. He made quick work of round 2. Great job. Round 2 for Whiskey this time. Let's check in and see how this goes. I'm noticing spinning saw blades are only situated mainly on one side, but looks like it worked out great for Whiskey. Those zombies did not stand a chance. Very nice, checkmark, well deserved. And now, round 2 for Lotus, and it looks like he's placed his turrets and the spinning blade traps in a single file row. And round 2 begins, and immediately melting the zombies, my god. That was incredibly quick. I only saw like 1 or 2 zombies make it out of the pens to begin with before they were dead. Great work, Lotus. Okay, let's jump ahead to round 3. They were allowed to add up to 3 more items to their trap setups. Glass is up first, with 3 zombies on each side. The gun turrets are doing the best they can, but looks like one side is getting too close, and it looks like some zombies have breached into the red square. Luckily, it seems like the ones that got in were dropped pretty quickly, but the remaining zombies seem to be a little bit confused. Keep in mind with these rounds, if you shoot at a zombie or you step outside the red area, you lose. But there we go. Finally, the turret took care of him, and Glass completes the round. Great work on earning that 3rd checkmark. Next up, round 3 for Whiskey. The pen doors are about to open. And immediately these zombies are getting melted. A lot of damage being put out here, but it seems like one is very close to breaching the perimeter. Whiskey going in with the fist, doing some big damage there. How will this turn out? It is a boxing match at this point. Whiskey is just pummeling this one zombie. And finally it goes down, but that was only temporary as it gets back up. After a few more punches, Whiskey finally managed to knock that zombie down. That was pretty close. She took some big damage there. Hopefully she can make some improvements to her setup for next round to avoid another close call. For round 3 though, she will also be getting a checkmark. Lotus up next on round 3. He's added more spinning blades. It looks like finally we're getting some balance in the setup here. He fires the shot immediately to draw the zombies in towards him. And and they're coming in, but I don't know, it looks like one might be making it through. And there goes the other one, too. Now remember, if Lotus steps out of the red zone, he will lose the round. This isn't looking great for Lotus. 2 zombies in the red zone, and he's got to fight both of them with his fists? I don't know how that's gonna go. He's doing his best, but he's backed into a corner now, and there it is. That is a loss for Lotus. He can't afford another death like that because there's only 2 more rounds remaining. Hopefully he can make some big improvements for round 4. And as the players set up for round 4, we can see the scores. 3 check marks for Glass and Whiskey, 2 for Lotus. Let's speed this up a little bit and watch them build their new setups. Now, it's worth mentioning that all 3 players have identical items to work with. In case anyone was wondering, they all have the same traps and the same quantities of items. This adds an interesting dynamic as we get to see the different strategies being implemented by each player. But finally, round 4 is up, starting with Glass Sandwich. 4 zombies on each side, and they were allowed to add up to 4 items. Doors open, and here they come. Already we can see a lot of these zombies are bypassing the spinning saw blades, and a lot of them are entering close to the red zone. But incredibly, the electrical wire does a great job of holding them off. The turrets were also a big help too. That was incredibly tight. Glass Sandwich earns his 4th check mark. Now, one thing I've noticed with Glass's setup is that the zombies do make it to the red area, but it's his brilliant placement of the turrets being on the wall pointed towards him that does the job. He never really has to punch them. It's quite a fantastic setup. Moving on to Whiskey, let's see what happens here. Gates are open, zombies pouring in. Traps seem to be doing their job. Those spinning blades are putting in big work. And the turret takes out the very last one. They didn't even come close to Whiskey that round. Nice job. That means Glass Sandwich and Whiskey will be tied going into the final round. Let's take a look here though at Lotus for round 4. Now Lotus has to complete this round in order to remain in the challenge. If he dies, he's out. Zombies are coming in, entering the arena, and it looks like one is actually managed to make it into the red zone. 2, in fact. This is not looking good. This is a repeat of exactly what happened last round, where the zombies just completely bypassed his traps. I don't know exactly what I would do in this situation. Obviously, it's best to try and maybe focus one at a time, but it seems here Lotus is just getting swarmed. Remember, Lotus can't leave the red zone. That would also count as a loss, so he's really trapped in here and just hoping for the best. But unfortunately, with your fists, there's not much you can really hope for. That is another death for Lotus, and he is knocked out of this challenge. Nice effort by Lotus, but unfortunately, there's no way he could possibly win anymore. That means it's all down to Glass Sandwich and Whiskey for the final round. We'll keep adding rounds and zombies until one of them dies. Now, as they prepare for round 5, each player will be allowed to add up to 5 more items to their setups. The number of zombies on each side will increase to 5. However, it's important to note that this is the last opportunity for them to add items. After round 5, the only thing that will increase is the number of zombies. It'll be interesting to see whose traps can handle the onslaught of zombies before one of these players succumbs to it. You can see the differences in setup here as well, where it looks like Glass Sandwich has gone for a more spread out design. Meanwhile, Whiskey has all of her saw blades in a straight line. But here we go with round 5, starting with Glass Sandwich. 10 total zombies. Will he make it? There goes the gates. They're storming in. Big explosion there, taking out nearly the entire side. I think that took out the entire side of zombies. The electrical wires are doing a great job of holding off others, and the turrets are cleaning it up. This is a fantastic setup, and an easy win for round 5 on Glass Sandwich. Incredible round, 5th checkmark, well earned. Now, in case anyone's wondering why some zombies are just standing there and not moving into the first-person views, those zombies are actually already dead, but appear to be standing. It's mostly an issue with 7 Days to Die itself. Now it's Whiskey's turn. Round 5, 10 total zombies. It looks like a couple made it through the saw traps, but Whiskey's doing a good job holding them off with her fists. The last 2 have managed to breach the area. Whiskey is just pummeling this zombie. Hopefully it gets knocked down before it knocks her down. This is pretty tight, but we'll see what happens here. She's losing health really quick, but she did manage to kill one of them. Oh, but the second one is not dead. It's getting back up. Oh, there it is, dead now. Whiskey's hoping for the best, but she died as well. The individual death will count regardless, but because all zombies died before she did, she still wins the round. That was close, but she's still in this. That was an absolute fight and a half from Whiskey there. Talk about cutting it down to the wire. Amazing performance by Whiskey, an absolute fighter. With round 5 being won by both players, we'll be going into overtime with round 6. No new items, but more zombies. Let's begin with Glass Sandwich. The doors are opening up. Zombies are pouring out. The turrets are doing the best they can. I'm actually noticing more zombies are actually making it to the perimeter, but looks like everything gets cleaned up before it gets too bad. I don't even think I've seen Glass Sandwich throw one punch yet. This guy knows his traps. This is incredible. Meanwhile, Whiskey on round 6 starting now. This isn't going to go well, I imagine. With last round barely squeaking by, I assume this round will not go much better. The traps are doing what they can. In fact, they seem to be doing a better job than they did last time. But just like last round, 2 zombies appear to be breaching the perimeter. Whiskey storming in, punching ahead. The traps do seem to look like they're doing a better job than last round, but I do notice some zombies are still getting really close to the perimeter. In fact, 1 zombie just breached it. Down to the fist then, she's only got 1 to fight. And it looks like she punched his head right off, meaning Whiskey lives for another round. Equally as incredible as Glass. This challenge is neck and neck as it enters its 7th round. Glass Sandwich, 14 zombies, no new items. Let's do it. And they're off. Zombies storming into the perimeter, the saw blades chopping them up, but one did enter. Luckily, a gun turret was there to drop him before it could get too close. But, uh-oh. It looks like some of the zombies are more interested in fighting the turrets than they are going after Glass Sandwich. There we go. They're all dead now. 14 zombies, no problem. 7th checkmark for Glass Sandwich. Moving on, will Whiskey be able to kill 14 zombies? She has to, or Glass Sandwich will win. Best of luck, Whiskey. And they're off. Already, some zombies getting a little too close to the perimeter. One's flanking her. Oh dear. 3 zombies inside the perimeter. This is not good at all. Nice, she's managed to get one of them. continuing to punch, just hoping for the best. Is that two? Looks like she actually managed to get 2 there. But it wasn't enough. The final zombie managed to kill her. What an amazing performance by Whiskey, though. She made it up to an absurd 7 rounds. She gets her first and only X of the round. Good setup and great resilience. And with that, Glass Sandwich emerges as the winner of Challenge 6 with his brilliantly set up traps, earning him 10 more levels. Congratulations, Glass Sandwich.